and we're so far from perfect, and we're working on it every day. But we had our first son, and I was working at the time, and Ben was working. And when I was pregnant, I got hyperemesis, which I don't know if you know what that is. It's basically like you can't get out of bed, you're throwing up all the time, and pregnancy is absolutely miserable. So I quit my job and I stayed home and I threw up all the time, and I fell into like this deep hole of depression. And then my son was born, and he was the best thing to ever happen to me. And I had not postpartum depression, but I had postpartum anxiety. And I just lived in constant fear that I was going to lose him. And it was mostly this constant fear that if something happens to him, I will not be able to go on. And didn't want people to hold him, and I didn't want to leave the house. And I would like check his breathing 1,000 times a night. And it was obsessive and it was all consuming. And it took months before I realized that this was an actual hormone imbalance and disorder that women suffered from. But I just thought, I suck at this. And so it was a little like I had already started to get better before the option of medication. So I pulled through that just in time for my son to be the most difficult newborn that ever existed.
Yeah.
And he had sleep apnea, and he was sensitive to foods, and he was sensitive to light, and he cried all the time, and he was simultaneously the happiest baby in the world and the most miserable.